Leah, I'm happy to see you. There was a question mark if anyone had contacted you and asked you to do opening words. So happy to see you this afternoon now.
I'm telling you, everybody write one friend and tell them to come to this meeting.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It takes 38 people for a quorum. There was only 59 people at church. They're all out there swimming.
Yeah. Swimming with the ponies. Yikes.
So, you boys get out of here or you'll be swimming with the ponies.
You guys okay with me opening up the waiting room?
Let's go. Please let there be 37 people out there.
All right. When all of you hear a great cheer go up because there's 39 of you, because we're sitting here worried about a quorum, it's because you became a quorum. Good job.
Good job. All right. Welcome to the congregational meeting. We'll get started in a few minutes. If you'll please type your name and the name of anyone else on your screen who's a member into the chat box. Once we get to the magic number 39, Elizabeth, is that our magic number?
38.
It's actually 38, but you know, you've got to count on the fact that Breck is a perfect counter except for when he's not. So we overextended.
All right.
Do we round up or round down?
Do we round up or round?
How do you round?
I know.
So I think our official numbers are 374, so that would make it 37 people, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you round up usually or you round to an even number usually is what it is.
All right.
A whole number, not an even number.
And it's 12 noon, 12 a.m. or 12 p.m.?
PM. What?
Yeah.
PM.
What are you drinking over there?
I argue with you. 12:01 and 1 second.
All right. Once again, if you're just joining us, please put your name in the chat box. We're counting our way to 38, which constitutes a quorum, which means we'll be able to conduct the business of our congregation. So click on the chat button on the bottom of your screen and type your name into that chat box. And we have a counter who is getting the official count to make sure we reach that magical number of 38, which constitutes a quorum.
And if you don't see a friend here, please text them and invite them.
Right. Right. Yes, it looks like we need a few more people. Laura Horn, did you get foster kittens? What does this say?
Yes.
Oh, so sweet. Can you hold them up? I love looking at foster kittens.
Yeah, let me take it off video, and you know it's not going to be pretty, right?
All right.
All right. So this love, you can put. I don't know if you can hear her purr. She does nothing but purr.
Such a baby.
And she has a twin sister who's busy eating right now.
Right. Oh, I can't do that purr.
They're pretty precious.
Well, congratulations. That looks like a lot of fun. How long do you have them for?
Well, they're getting close to 2 pounds, so maybe a week or so, and they'll be neutered, and then we'll try to find adoptive homes before we put them back in the shelter if we can.
Right. Are they both black?
They are both black. Here's our other love.
Babies. Well, Laura, you know my story. We've fostered for years, and the black ones never get adopted, so we bring them back to my house, which is why I now have 6 black cats.
Yeah,
be careful.
I know.
Don't follow in
I-
my footsteps.
I know.
Hi,
Well,
Laura. This is Don Oven. I would be interested in talking to you about those kittens.
good deal.
Can you
Great.
give me a call?
Yes, yes,
Good.
I will. Will you put a note in the chat box for me so I have I'm not where I can write something down, so just so I have your name.
I don't know how to do the chat box, but
Okay, I'll find you. Thank you.
okay. All right.
I
Sure.
can't see your name on, oh,
It's
yes.
Oven. UBBEN.
Deal. Thank you so much.
Oh, look, everybody's holding their cat now. Oh, my gosh.
Mine's right behind me.
So
Well,
Lori, I think we have 4 staff members, so I think that you need to get to 40. Oh, there
I
went
hope it
42.
doesn't become a catastrophe.
Well, I'm counting on, Breck is, I believe, the counter. So Breck, tell me when we're getting close to 38 and we'll go.
Oh, well,
ahead.
we're at 41, but we're really more because some of those are couples. So I think
Okay.
you can see
We're
the
there.
light.
We're there. Okay.
I saw you, Frank Dukes.
Thank you.
All right. Well, as long as we have enough people, we'll go ahead and get started. It's a lovely afternoon out there, and I don't want to keep anyone any longer than absolutely necessary. You can go enjoy the lovely weather outside. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Lori Craddock, and I'm the president of the Board of Trustees for the Unitarian Universalist of Charlottesville. Welcome to our virtual congregational meeting. Please raise your hand or give us a thumbs up so that we can verify that everyone can hear. I think we've had enough practice at this point with Zoom that we probably all know the drill. All right. And once again, if you are a UU Charlottesville member, please sign into this meeting by typing your name in the chat box. There's a little chat icon at the bottom of the screen. Just click on that and then go ahead and type your name. And if you're sharing the screen with another member, your spouse, your friend, your partner, whatnot, please type their name in too, because we have to get to that magical number 38 to establish a quorum so that we can conduct the business of the church. If you are visible on Zoom and you know how to adjust your little name on there, please type both your name, and if you're sharing the screen with anyone, please type their name in there as well, so we know who we're addressing today. This meeting is being held virtually rather than in person because of health concerns created by the pandemic and respect for the recommendations of public health professionals. We look forward to meeting again in person. Our bylaws state that members must be present to vote at a congregational meeting, and in these unusual times, the board has decided that present will mean present at the Zoom congregational meeting. When we can convene in person, a congregational meeting will be held to vote on amending the bylaws to consider this situation. Today, when we vote, we will be using an online service called Election Buddy so that our ballots can be on that vote will be in secret. You will be receiving an Election Buddy email during the meeting with your unique qualifier and links to the ballot. I will be giving everyone the passwords to vote on the discussions on the 3 motions today that are complete. Changing our bylaws to replace our old name with our new name, electing a new officer to the UU board, and voting on the 2021-22 budget. You will be unable to vote without that password and until the discussion on the motion is complete. So we're not going to pass out that password until everyone has had their say. When we do vote, at that time, we will take a 15 to 20-minute break in the meeting and give everyone a chance to check their email and do their voting and then come back. So once more, if you are a UU of Charlottesville member and you haven't done this today, please sign into this meeting by typing your name in the chat box. Click that chat icon at the bottom of the screen. We need to establish the number of members here today, and we need at least 38 to verify that we have a quorum. For those of you calling,
Do people on phones count?
people on phones
do
count.
people-
Absolutely, Edith. I think we got you.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
You can mute and unmute by pressing *6 on your telephone, and you can raise and lower your virtual hand on your telephone by pressing *9. All righty. Now to get this meeting started, we're going to hear from Kelsey Cowger, who is our parliamentarian, and Kelsey's going to go over some of the practices and procedures that we will use at this meeting. Kelsey, there you go.
Lori, forgive me. I need about 30 seconds to pull this up. A couple things about my Zoom just crashed.
That's okay. I'll tell you what, Kelsey, I will start and then you jump in when you're ready. How's that sound?
Sounds terrific. Thank you, Lori.
Great. In this congregation, so here's the parliamentary lesson that I will be the sub instead of Kelsey. In this congregation, we use our bylaws to govern practice, and within the bylaws it states, procedures shall be governed by Robert's Rules of Order, the latest revised edition, in all cases not covered by the bylaws. We use these rules to ensure that member rights are protected and to ensure that there is full and free discussion in democratic decision-making and to protect the stability of this process. When it comes time to discuss motions made during this meeting, you will need to use the chat box to make note of your desire to be recognized to speak. You will type one of 3 things in the chat box: pro, to indicate that you want to speak in favor of a motion; con, to indicate that you want to speak in opposition to the motion; or order, which indicates a point of order or a procedural question. Pro, con, or order are the only things that you should enter into the chat box. The chat box is being recorded, and even private chats. So please be aware that the secretary and all the rest of the people monitoring this meeting will see whatever you write in that chat box. Elizabeth Breeden will be monitoring the pro and con, and I will be monitoring the point of order. You must be recognized by the chair in order to speak. Comments must be limited to 2 minutes, and David Shutt will be acting as our timer.
Lori, I am back if that's helpful. Sorry about that. Forgive the technical.
You're on. Have at it.
All right. Obtain the floor, which is the right to speak, by entering pro, con, or order in the chat box. Then wait for the chair to recognize you before you unmute and begin speaking. People who are accessing the meeting by phone should unmute themselves and wait to speak until they're recognized. Caroline will be monitoring people accessing the meeting by phone. I will answer procedural questions, and Lori will alternate between pro and con voices. Point of order questions will jump to the front of the line. Please don't hold up signs. Please use the chat box only to request permission to speak. We want a full discussion, but hope to limit discussion to 20 minutes for each motion. Comments must be 2 minutes or less. If we find the discussion going long, or we only have speakers on one side of the issue, we will then limit comments to 1 minute. Major motions used in our UU meeting. We've got a couple, and I'll deal with them quickly. One is to call the question or to move to the previous question, to end the discussion and any amendments before the chair has ended the discussion. Calling the question in this online meeting requires that you enter one of these phrases in the chat box and be recognized by the chair. A 2/3 vote is required in order to end discussion, then the vote on the previous motion will be taken. Calling the question is not debatable, and we discourage the casual use of it, as it's a serious point that may lead us out of covenant. This motion is seen as aggressive, and its use may silence the minority in discussion. You're required by Robert's rules to be recognized for the vote because you must identify yourself to deny the minority their rights to discussion. A couple of major points. If the point you wish to be made has already been made, or the point you wish to make has already been made, no need to restate. It'll be in the minutes. And also, please limit time speaking in favor or against a motion to 2 minutes. David Shutt is our timekeeper and will signal to you when you have 10 seconds left. We will shorten the comment time to 1 minute when we have heard all the comments from either the pro or con line. Back to you, Lori.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kelsey. All righty. At this time, the annual meeting of UU Charlottesville, the UU Congregation of Charlottesville will now come to order. Our first order of business is to establish a quorum. Membership stood at 371 members as of May 7th, 2021. And according to our bylaws, 10% of membership or 37 members constitute a quorum. We're going to bounce it to 38 today just to be on the safe side. And may I have a report, please, from Breck Gaskinger, our head teller?
Yes, we currently have 48 people checked in.
Fabulous.
Yay. We
Yay.
have quorum.
Such a relief. A quorum has been established and our congregation may conduct business. Once again, I'm Lori Craddock, and for another 3 days, I will be the president of UU Charlottesville. Welcome to this virtual congregational meeting.
Okay.
I invite you to read with me our covenant, which is about to be printed on the screen. In order to create the beloved community we all desire for ourselves, we, the members of Unitarian Universalists of Charlottesville, Covenant 2, communicate with compassion and respect, especially when we disagree, celebrate diversity and nurture our inclusivity, embrace one another spiritually and emotionally, promote social justice within our congregation and the larger community, generously support the ministries of the church with time, money, and enthusiasm, and when we have fallen short, lovingly call each other back into covenant. I'd like to begin this meeting by recognizing Haley Owens, who has offered to take minutes for our board secretary, Beth Landis, who cannot be with us today, although I think Beth is here on the phone. Kelsey Cowger is serving as our parliamentarian, and all the members of the church committees, board, staff, including our lead interim minister, the Reverend Linda Olson-Peebles, and everyone else who has helped to prepare for this meeting. I also especially want to thank Sean Scally and Caroline Hines and the entire tech team for running this Zoom meeting and providing the extra technical support. Thanks also to all of our assistants available by phone to help anyone who has difficulties with the voting system that we will use later in this meeting. And at this time, I would like to recognize the Reverend Leah Derlin-Jones, who will offer our opening words and light the chalice. Leah?
Good afternoon, friends. Thank you for being here for our time together and this important meeting. I light this chalice and offer these words, which feel particularly inspired following the worship service we just attended with the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly. A chalice lit in our midst is a symbol of our liberal faith, a faith built on the foundations of freedom, reason, and welcome, a faith sustained by acts of kindness and justice, a faith that envisions a world flourishing with equality for all people, a faith that demands the living out of goodness, a faith that requires thoughtfulness, a faith of wholeness. This tiny flame is the symbol of the spark of all that is within each one of us. Welcome to this time and this work together.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Leah. All righty. Our first item of business is the approval of the agenda. And I believe that's going to magically appear on your screen. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? If there are, please put your addition or correction in the chat box so that we can call on you. If you're on the phone, please unmute yourself. And please realize we must vote on all additions to the agenda. Anyone? All righty. There were no entries in the chat box and no one on the phone unmuted to be recognized. There being no additions or corrections to the agenda, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Fabulous. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. The question is on the approval of the agenda. Please raise your hand to vote only if you're a member, or go to the participant window to raise your virtual hand. Only members can vote in congregational meetings. Those of you accessing the meeting by phone will be briefly unmuted to give your vote. Those in favor, please raise your hand and keep them raised so that we can quickly count the votes. Okie doke, lower your hands. Anyone against the agenda, raise your hand. Lower your hand. And anyone abstaining from the agenda vote? All righty. Breck, please tell me that the agenda has passed.
Has passed.
Excellent. There being a majority in the affirmative, the motion carries and we have now approved the agenda. The next item up for business is the approval of the minutes of our last meeting, which was merely 3 weeks ago. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the July 6, 2021 congregational meeting? And as before, please enter your desire to be recognized in the chat box, or if you're on the phone, unmute and wait to be recognized. Anyone? All righty, there being no further additions or corrections, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. The question is on the approval of the minutes. Please vote once again, only if you are a church member. We will briefly unmute those of you on the phone to get your vote. Those in favor of the minutes, raise your hand. Lower your hand. If you are voting against the minutes, raise your hand. Lower your hand. And anyone abstaining from the minutes, raise your hand and lower your hand. All right, Breck, did the minutes pass?
Yep.
Thankfully, the minutes have passed. All right, excellent. We have completed our housekeeping. Next up on the agenda is the minister's report. Reverend Linda, do you have a report this go round?
No, I do not. The report I made was the annual report, and we already had the annual meeting, so there is no report to be made today.
Excellent, perfectly fine. We just had a congregational meeting merely 2 weeks ago, so no report was expected. As to the president's report, I just want to restate, it has been my joy and pleasure. I am so happy and proud to have served you for the past 2 years. I cannot say how meaningful this has all been to me. And for anyone who wants a deeper involvement in your church, I urge you to consider extending your volunteering just a little bit further, whether it's a position of leadership or a position within governance, or just dipping your toes in the water of volunteering for this church. It will give you a whole new realization of what it means to be a UU. So my 2 years will be up shortly and the new board will come on. I wish them all the luck in the world. I know that they're going to be great. So once again, thanks to everyone for making this 2 years nothing but joy. All righty, moving along. Here we go. I want to remind you that voting, so the first thing we're going to vote on is to change the bylaws. The nomination to the board, three things. We're going to vote on to change the bylaws, the nomination to the board, the position of the Board of Trustees, and the approval of the budget. And just a reminder, these are only going to be open after all of the discussions are finished. Because it's done with election buddy, we're going to do it all at the same time. And once all the discussions are finished, I will give you the password that you need to log into election buddy. Pretty soon, those election buddy ballots will start popping up in your inbox, but I don't think they're there quite yet. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the proposal to change the bylaws from our old name to our new name, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. And at this time, I'm going to call on Elizabeth Breeden to propose that change to the bylaws. Elizabeth.
So the bylaws have been written with our old name in it. And so this proposal is to change the name in every instance of the bylaws. I move that the name Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville, referred to in the rest of the bylaws as the congregation, replace the name Thomas Jefferson Memorial Church Unitarian Universalist, or TJMC-UU, in every instance in our bylaws.
Excellent, thank you. Do I hear a second for that motion?
Second.
Thank you so much. All right, at this time, we'll open it up for any discussion. Once again, if you'd like to make a comment, please put pro, con, or order in the chat box. Several people are monitoring the chat box, and we'll call on you if you'd like to say something. All right, going once, going twice. All righty, we're now moving on to the next topic. Thank you, everyone. And once again, just a reminder, we're not voting until we've hit on all three of these things. So up next, I'd like to call on Ann Salamini, Chair of the Nominating Committee, to introduce the nomination to the Board of Trustees. Ann?
Hi, everybody. I'm just a member of the nominating committee, but I'm representing that august body to propose that Steve Brecker be elected for the at-large position on the Board of Trustees for a period of 2 years. He will actually be fulfilling the role of Dawn Dirks, who is moving and can't complete her elected position.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Ann. Are there any other nominations from the floor for this position? We can take other nominations from the floor. All righty. Is there a, oh, I'm sorry. No, okay. Let's see.
I second.
Okay, Ann makes the motion and Elizabeth seconds. Once again, is there any discussion on nominating Steve Brecker for the at-large position on the board? Again, type pro, con, or order in the chat box if you'd like to make a comment. Going once, going twice. All righty. On to our third topic. At this time, I'd like to call on Stan Walker, our church treasurer, to present his report and the budget, which will be our third vote. Stan, here you go.
Thank you. Hello. I hope that you have all looked at the budget that was posted online. There are several things I want to say here. First, if you think about where we were 2 years ago, this budget is a huge accomplishment. We, over the last 2 years, have needed $120,000 in outside money in order to keep ourselves going. This budget, we aren't borrowing any money. We aren't being given any grants. We are totally self-funded. We are not spending our savings. This is, I want to stress, not my accomplishment. This is the accomplishment of everybody who is involved in this church. We couldn't have done it without everyone. Everybody from the paid staff, through the board, through all the other volunteers, the people who worked on the pledge drive, everybody that pledged. It's everybody's accomplishment. You should all be very proud of yourselves. It is, again, I don't want to take away from that, but it is also still just a start. There's a lot more places we need to be able to, we need to be able to put money. We are not paying the staff what we should. We are behind on what we owe to the UUA, and we should be putting away a little more money just in case of a rainy day. But this is still a huge, huge plus. Other than that, I echo Lori's sentiment. I have been proud to be y'all's treasurer for the last couple of years, and I am happily handing it over to Kay Frazier. I have no doubt that she will be an excellent treasurer. Please be as nice to her as y'all have been to me. So finally, I move that we approve the proposed budget in its entirety for fiscal year 2021 to 2022.
Excellent.
Second.
Someone second it?
Second. Yep.
Thank you. All right, so we've gone through all three things. Changing the bylaws to reflect our new name, A new board member is about to be elected, and passing the budget for the next fiscal year. Any discussions on this budget? Please enter pro, con, or order in the chat box. If anyone would like to make comments on the budget, plenty of people are monitoring that chat box if you have anything to say. All righty. Are we sure? Nothing to say today? All right, moving on. Let's see, where are we here? Okay, it is almost time to vote, but you're going to need the password, so don't leave the meeting yet. Just hang in there with me for a couple more minutes. And again, the questions on the motion are: 1, we're going to approve the change to the bylaws to replace the name Thomas Jefferson Memorial Church Unitarian Universalist with the name Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. That's the new name that we voted on at the previous congregational meeting. Now we just have to have our bylaws reflect that change. Second, we have a nominee, Steve Brecker, for the Board of Trustees. We're going to vote on Steve's finishing out Dawn Dirk's term. And then third, we're going to vote for the budget for the fiscal year. Please note that if you vote to abstain today, your vote will be recorded, but abstentions will not be used to calculate the percentages needed for passage. And now, with a drum roll, the password for Election Buddy today is Bylaws, B-Y-L-A-W-S. There's an S at the end of that, Bylaws. So now is the time to access your Election Buddy ballot and enter your vote. Please access your ballot through your email account. Please fill out your vote and submit it. For those of you without internet access, Sean and Caroline will take you to a breakout room to collect your vote. If you have technical difficulties with this, please email Sean or type help in the chat box to get help privately. Don't be shy. If you can't get your vote to work, please don't not vote. There are lots of people standing by to help you vote. So once again, email Sean or just type help in the chat box and someone will magically appear to help you out.
And as you learned the last time that when you hit Election Buddy, it'll autofill. Don't accept that because you have a code for your access key, and then you have the password Bylaws to type in again for this meeting.
Right. Everyone has a unique access code, but all of us have the same password, and the password is Bylaws. So when you look at that Election Buddy email, you'll see your very own personal access code. Make sure you use that access code, but we all use the same password, and that password is Bylaws. So at this point, we're going to pause the meeting for about 15 minutes. Let's say it's 1:28 right now. Let's say 15 minutes, we'll say 1:45. We will reconvene this meeting and come on back and we'll see how everything did with the voting. And if anyone has any trouble, once again, type help in the chat box or just email Sean. All right, back at you in 15 minutes.
Edith, I'm going to put you with Breck in a breakout room, and then anybody else, please type in help in the chat, and I'll put you with Jim or help you out myself.
Why are we being invited to a breakout room?
Well, you can go if you want, but you don't have to.
The breakout room is just for people that need help. You can vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well said.
You vote by going to the email that was sent you. And you can stay online and just mute yourself.
All right, Haley, I'm sending you to a breakout room. Not seeing it. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Did not mean to do that.
This is
Uh-oh.
my favorite when Sean talks to himself.
Yeah,
This
you
is the
never
best.
want to
Talk
hear
out
the.
loud to yourself, Sean. We like it.
Well, you never want to hear your AV tech go, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oops.
Only
yeah,
if you're a surgeon. You just don't want to hear a surgeon go, oops.
You accidentally closed them. I'll have to reopen them again.
You closed all the breakout rooms?
Yeah. All right, sorry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys back. There we go.
John, what is the key to allowing an audio participant to unmute?
Oh, it's *6, I believe.
*6 is what the
Okay.
cheat sheet says.
Okay.
That
Thank
Lori
you.
uses.
That is correct. That's what the cheat sheet says.
Oh yeah, some people you might want to look in your spam or junk mail or promotions, as Linda says. I might have gone to a weird part.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
I've just voted myself, but how do I vote? How does Bill vote then?
You use the same link, but Bill has his own access key. So
Yeah,
you use the same password, but you use his access key.
Yeah, but where is that?
Oh, give me 1 second and I will send it to you.
Sean,
By email? Are you sending it to Elena by email?
Yes.
Elena, so go back to your email box and help.
Okay.
Sean, I'm unable to help Edith because she's muted in the breakout room and I can't unmute her, or she's not responding to my voice in help.
Oh, okay.
All right, here's your chance to vote.
Sean, maybe if you brought Edith back to the main room, you could unmute her.
All right, give me 1 second.
I don't know if you have that capacity because you're the host. You could maybe do that.
Shit.
Oh, Steve is leaving us. Thank you, Steve. I hope you get elected. We'll let you know what the results of the vote are later on.
Oh, everybody run back and change their vote so we can surprise him. No.
Steve,
Yes.
I can't believe you don't want to wait and find out if you're elected or not.
No, I like surprises, so
Okay.
I'll find out later, but it is a very exciting time in the life of the congregation, and I look forward to serving and hopefully, bringing my experience as we rebrand the church in name and to the community. I think I have some things to offer in that vein. So anyway, you all have a great day.
You're gonna miss the champagne.
Yeah, you're gonna miss the champagne we had on ice for you here.
Sean.
Okay. We'll pick up on that. Bye now.
Sean.
Yeah, hi, Elena.
Yeah, where did you send it? You didn't
I just sent it to your email, Elena.
ER Spidell, not WM Spidell. I can't access WM Spidell right now.
Oh no, it's ER Spidell.
Spidell. Okay, I didn't see it.
Did you check your junk folder?
Well, the mine was fine. Seamless.
Was it your iCloud or your AOL? Which one should it go to?
AOL.
Oh, okay. Let me send it to there then.
Okay, thank you. I don't know how that iCloud. I don't know.
Yeah, get rid of that in our directory, John.
Yeah, really better. Yeah. Okay. Did you send it?
I'm sending it right now.
Okay.
Can anybody tell me if that beautiful logo that we saw during the service today is a new one that is being adopted for the?
I don't know the answer. I agreed with you. It was gorgeous. The one with the two U's.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And
oh, good, we have a new logo because I've
that was either the church in Minneapolis's logo or it was the UUA. But if we like it, we could ask if we could also put it on some of our things.
two,
That would be
three.
great.
Remember that.
Alex thinks it was the congregation, the Minneapolis congregation's logo. It wasn't the
Yeah,
UUA one.
I concur that that's the congregation's logo.
1, 2, 3, 7. I have to go back to.
Oh, were they playing with the M upside down?
No, they just did 2 U's for their chalice. So that they, which is interesting because they've kept Universalist as their main name, and yet they are proud to say Unitarian Universalist in their chalice.
Right, and then there was a sort of two flames
Two
that
flames,
were joined
yes.
in the middle. It was just
I noticed that.
exactly what we should have.
I noticed that too, Natalie. I think that's a good one to see if we can add it to any of our materials.
Right, thanks.
So if Jude Bias is still on this call, yes, Jude is. She's trying to vote, but she's a
She's
graphics
looking
artist.
right now. You can see she's cruising the World Wide
She's
Web.
looking at it. Yeah. If we want to incorporate that into one of our branding things for our name.
I'm about to give up. Sean?
Yep, you still haven't got it yet?
Yeah, when I go to the email, election buddy email that I voted in, it says that the ballot has been submitted and it gives me no ballot.
All right, let me put you in a room then with Breck, okay?
Fine,
You can give a verbal vote with Breck.
right.
And she's already unmuted, so she's golden.
Yeah, she'll be able to talk to Breck. How's everybody else doing?
Done.
General Assembly a lot. That's been really fun.
Yeah, General Assembly, great. So show of hands if you have submitted your vote. Let's see how many people have been able to successfully submit their vote. Oh, that's pretty fast. Almost everybody. Yay. We're getting good at this. We can
Let's
start
have a
having.
meeting again next month.
Yeah, what can we vote on next month? Let's
Yeah.
think of something. Laura, you don't have to worry. You wouldn't be in charge of it.
Right, no, and Pam's not here to go.
Pam's not here, so we can plan it.
Greg may do it for her, but
Yeah, I was saying earlier to Sean, I'm hopeful that this will be our last online congregational meeting, that the next congregational meeting we have perhaps will be in person.
It'll be dual
Hybrid.
platform, right? Hybrid.
Right.
So
Right.
Sean will still have to work extra hard.
Yeah, Sean will work twice as hard with people in the sanctuary and then people online, but
Right.
At least some.
I'm so excited that General Assembly is going to be hybrid from now on.
Mhm.
That even when they meet in person, people will be able to have the experience the way we've been having it. Those of us going to it this year have been, I think, very happy with how it works.
Was that not true before the pandemic? That
It
there
was true.
Online access?
There was online access only if you were a delegate. So the business meetings, you could Zoom in as a delegate, but it was real clunky and it was real slow. I don't know if you remember watching poor Ginny Corder trying to struggle with the tech team and trying to get those folks involved and being able to contribute. So because of the pandemic, they've learned how to do things so well now. It's quite an experience. I mean, you can be on, talking to people in a chat room, watching the documents come up, voting
Sorry to
on
interrupt.
everything's. Yep.
Sorry, I'm gonna jump in there. Hey, Cynthia, I'm gonna put you in a room with Jim. Oh, looks like they're in there already. Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, you're in charge of this. I'm just rattling on.
I'll bet creating this online worship and going to hybrid has really opened up a lot of next generation jobs for people and has brought in more young people into the UUA, just like at our church. It's the young people that are creating the online content, the videos and whatnot. I would imagine that it has really expanded the room and included some voices that hadn't been there before. And now they're not just there, but they're the critical voices in the room. I mean, they're the ones making things happen. So I think that has really raised the status of a lot of people who were looking for jobs with the UUA or just working with their church in general. I think it's really given them a lot of exposure. And we are so grateful, unbelievably grateful. All right, I think we're almost there. I sense we're down to our last tech support issue. Sean, if you message me the results at your convenience whenever you get them, I'll be on the lookout. Nothing. I was just saying, if you message me the voting results when you get them.
We got Elena voted and is, was Edith able to vote?
I don't know. She disconnected.
Okay.
Oh, Edith,
I
you're
have a question. This is Carl Howe. This is on another topic. I just wonder, is there any discussion in the board or anywhere in the congregation task force looking at what point we might start reassembling in person? Is there sort of a target date in September, or are we watching something? I really haven't learned anything about how that's proceeding.
Carl, I hope you're
Yeah.
reading our weekly Friday emails. We have an update every week about where we're at. And so do read your Friday emails every week. We give the update, and our current hopeful is mid-September, but that's dependent upon we have scientists on our reopening team who are very carefully monitoring indicators, and they won't let us all gather until they feel like it's safe. So we're thinking mid-September. We're going to be doing a little bit of more people being able to come in small groups in the building if you register with Sean and learn the protocols and all that. But we are hoping, fingers crossed, it may be later if there's some indicators that are slow, but that's what we're hoping and dreaming for. And of course, we'll do dual platforms, so people that still don't feel safe, or if it's just a bad time for you to drive into the church, you'll still be able to enjoy worships the way you've been.
Linda, did I mishear? There was some mention earlier about events in July.
What I'm doing for when I'm preaching one Sunday in July and 2 Sundays in August, Sean and I are going to be trying to practice how to do in-person and dual platform worship simultaneously. So I'm going to invite maybe 10 people, 10 or 15 people, if I get a few people to come and sit in the pews to help us tell us what it feels like to be in the pews, watching the things that happen up on the screen, seeing if the worship leaders that are in the room feel like they're in the room with us, or if we're just talking to the camera. So I'm going to be reaching out to people that have not been able to enjoy the Zoom services, much. I'm going to get a few of those folks in. So that's just, it's going to be like a trial run, and we have to still keep the numbers of people limited. That's what you probably heard about us. We were talking about it at the brunch yesterday.
So I think Carl is probably too young to have come to the honoring elders brunch. However, gotcha. So that was an experience outdoors, which was very interesting for all of us because it was the first time we'd all been together. We had people, when they walked through the building, had to be masked, and then they took their mask off as soon as they exited the building. There were a lot of hugs going on because I think part of the thing you float here is everybody makes their own decisions. And then we have a set of rules, but you still can see when it's your own decision, you have to gauge that other real person and how comfortable they are with social distancing. And so you can feel how people are so delighted to be together, and that group of elders is our most vulnerable population. So we got to experience being halfway
sorry to interrupt again.
halfway not.
Sorry, I'm going to jump in there. Jim and Breck, are the people you're helping, have they been able to vote?
Mine has.
Okay.
Elena was able to vote. I still can't connect with Edith. And I tried to give her my phone number. Oh, wait, that's might be her. This is her now. Give us 2 more minutes.
Sure thing. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, yeah, so Carl, I think experiencing that will give you some, and then Linda trying trial runs gives you some baseline to sort of understand the decision-making that UUA is encouraging. Hey, always be aware that you need to include vulnerable members and let them attend in the way they're best able to attend. And you also, so that's the greater good, and we become the most conservative of the religious organizations in when we open up, which is just interesting when you watch everybody making decisions.
So Elizabeth, I want to underscore something that Linda Dukes put in the chat, and that is that our children are not vaccinated right now. And
Thank
so
you.
that is very much on many of our minds and hearts. And in fact, as we meet for our FIFI programming this summer, we are masked on the playground. So we need to really be mindful of how much of a multi-generational community we are, and really trying to keep everyone as safe as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd argue there are ways in which parents of kids under 12 are less safe, and their kids are less safe than they were 6 months ago.
That's right. That's right. They're less safe. The other thing I would, you know, what Elizabeth was saying, everybody's going to have to make their own decisions when we start to come back together. I very, you know, gently am not shaking hands or hugging, because I've discovered that, in fact, it's very nice not to get a cold for 2 years. And, you know, that's one of the things that ministers used to always get a lot of colds, because we'd be shaking a lot of hands, and it's really hard, you know, to keep yourself from getting germs that way. So I've decided that rather than spreading germs or catching germs, I'm going to do sort of a, you know, hands together clasp or something like that. Right. And namaste. And it doesn't mean that I'm not warmly happy to see people, and I wish I could give big old hugs, but I've just made the decision that I don't want to be a person that's carrying germs from me to you, or from you to me.
All right, at this time, I am happy to report that the voting is complete. I think Breck, give us a thumbs up, and you got Edith's vote. I think Breck has accomplished that, or is about to accomplish that. But I'm happy to report that all three motions have passed. The change of the bylaws, the approval to the nomination of the Board of Trustees, and also the approval of our budget. I'd like to thank everyone for your patience while we managed our way through Election Buddy. It gets easier with each time, but nevertheless, it is somewhat challenging. All righty, at this time, I would like to recognize our Reverend Linda Olson-Peebles to offer up closing words as we extinguish our chalice at home.
Thank you very much, Lori. And before I offer the closing words, I want to say something. If we were in person, not only would we be popping champagne, we'd probably be giving Lori and Stan and Liberty some sort of gifts, whether they be a bouquet of flowers or, you know, some beautiful object that we would hand them that would be engraved or something. And this year we're doing everything from a distance. So I said it at the annual meeting, but I want to say it again. The leadership that has been shown by three members, Lori as board president, Stan as our treasurer, and Liberty not only serving on the board, but helping us shape our communications, has just been exemplary. And this congregation is so blessed to have had your years of leadership. So thank you, Lori. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Liberty. And as you hand over the gavel or the red ink pen or whatever it is that symbolizes your roles, as you hand those on to your successors, I want you to know we love you, we give thanks for you, and we hope you'll say yes if we ask for your help. If we still need help, we hope you'll say yes and not hide from us.
Absolutely. I know Stan and I will definitely be passing on the whiteboard. You all can make fine use of that, I'm sure, and we will even throw in some markers for it.
Great. That's wonderful.
All right.
Well, and I want to congratulate you on the shortest congregational meeting ever, probably. It's probably record setting. I don't know that we'll ever do this again, so congratulations. I offer these words of benediction before I extinguish our chalice. At this moment of ending, may there be a good word, a blessing, to help us remember what we so often forget, May the message we need be gently spoken and held in the spaces in our cells, the fibers that hold all we need to maintain our gentleness, our courage, and our hope. At this moment of ending, may the goodness we wish for ourselves and each other, this community, this ecosystem, this planet, this stardust galaxy, may these goodnesses become such a part of us that we cannot tell where the blessing ends and where we begin. Go in peace.
All right. Thank you so much, Linda. There being no further business to come before the congregation, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So
I move.
Seconded?
Yup.
Yep. Okay, that was super fun. The question is
Thank
to
you,
adjourn.
Lori. We love you.
Thanks to all. I can't imagine anyone voting not to adjourn. It's a lovely day out there. I encourage you all to go out and live it. Thank you again, everyone. 2 years in the making, and now we're moving on to the next board. We wish them all the success in the world, and we look forward to seeing everyone again next Monday. Bye,
And
friends.
Lori, now you're free. You're a free lady. Take care, everyone. Love
Free
you.
to make
everybody.
scones and coffee hours.
That's exactly right. I'll be back making coffee before you know it.
And scones. I want those scones.
Yeah, right.
Bye.